Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It is time for Taroscopes. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Aries. That's Aries Sun, Aries Moon, and Aries Rising for the month March 2024. Okay, so February has been quite the month for us. Very big shifts, big changes, energetically intense. And lots of things coming down, lots of things manifesting. We remember we are in an 8 vibration year, so a lot of things will continue to manifest as the year goes by. There's a lot of things coming to culmination this year that or are going to get manifested. And then in the next year, we look at the manifestations that have come forth and what is it that we've learned from the experience? What do we want to keep? What do we want to let go of? But that's in the future. And while March is also in the future, it's a little bit closer. And so let's take a look. We'll look at the astrology first. I'm going to just bring this a little closer. We're going to look at the astrology first, and then I will do card reading. So let me pull up that for you. All right. Okay, so we're looking at Aries. And of course, as you probably know at this point, Aries is a cardinal fire sign. And of course, all the cardinal signs start the seasons. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, Aries is going to start the season of spring. In the Southern Hemisphere, it starts the season of fall. Aries is, the mantra for Aries is I am. Hopefully that's my parrot. I don't know if he's an Aries, but he might as well be because he definitely wants to be heard. The ruling planet of Aries is the planet Mars. So if we look at the year that we're in, remember, I just said it, remember or not, that we are in an 8 vibration year, 2024, on the tree of life. That is associated with energetically our throat chakra. So we are very self-expressive. We are finding our voice. The 8 vibration is a manifestation vibration. It's taking our creations and making them real. So this is a year in which, if you've worked diligently, things are going to start to really manifest for you. And of course, if you've been diligently good, then good things will manifest. If you've been diligently naughty, naughty things or consequences, of course, will manifest for you. And we're already seeing that happen, actually, even as early as January and February. So it's only the beginning of the year. And so things are really going to heat up. We also are going to look at the sign of Leo, because Leo is associated with the Strength card here on this slide. And for Aries, it's the house of creativity and self-expression and luck and romance, creative self-expression, drama. Oh. So really, it's going to be a very dramatic year because Aries is the start of the natural zodiac. So in a purely archetypical perspective, we can expect a lot of drama this year. And so far, we haven't been disappointed on that. All right, so let's take a look at the month, week by week. We start with the sun making a waning sextile to Jupiter. The sun and the Jupiter are the two largest planetary bodies, of course, the sun is the star, and Jupiter is actually considered or people think. I think there's a theory that Jupiter is actually a brown dwarf star because it's so big and it does have energy. It has its own energy. It's not just reflecting the sun. And it is also the largest of the planets in the solar system, and it has a protective quality. Its gravitational field is so strong that when things come into the towards the inner planets, of which Earth is one of them, it will tend to sort of vacuum up all the space debris. And so it's like a giant vacuum cleaner, really, that helps to protect the inner planets. And so there's a protective energy to Jupiter, and that will be expressed in this sextile with the sun. It's lucky, but all the sextiles, save for one this month, are last quarter, or I mean last. I'm sorry, they're 300-degree sextiles, so they're in they're in the last part of the cycle between any two planets. There's only 360 degrees in a circle, and this is the point of 300 degrees along that circle. And the underlying energy of that is progressive thinking. And so moving in a more progressive way, in a more humanitarian way for the benefit of the people, right? So this is sort of the energy that's underlying all the sextiles um, this month, except for one, which I will tell you which one it is when we get there. On the 3rd of March, Venus makes a last quarter square to Uranus. Now, there are a number of last quarter squares this month. Last quarter squares are crisis in belief, / consciousness / thought. This is the 270-degree point on the 360-degree circle. And this is a crisis that requires, all crisis requires change, right? There's the crises that require us to act, so actually physically act and do something. And then there are those that require us to change our mind, our beliefs, our thoughts, our perspective on something. And those are the squares that we're going to see this month. Between Venus and Uranus, Venus is the planet of love and relationship and values and money, and Uranus is sudden things that come out of nowhere. So there could be some sort of shocking incident that will have people turn away from the more traditional ways, or even the power over dynamic, right, that we see in many places, into a more humanitarian, egalitarian, equal, democratic direction. On the 4th, Mercury makes a waxing sextile to Uranus. Again, this is one of those. Oh, did I say waxing? Hold on a second. I think it's waning. Mercury. So waning sextile, sorry about that. This isn't the exception. Makes a waning sextile to Uranus. Again, this is that humanitarian energy. And Mercury and Uranus have a special relationship because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. And so they're both mental energies. And of course, Uranus is illumination and awakening. And Mercury is our mind. So this is an opportunity for us our mind to be awakened to things that move us in the direction of humanitarianism and progressive thinking. On the 8th, Mercury conjoins Neptune. Mercury, of course, is in Pisces at this time. This occurs at 27 degrees of Pisces. Neptune's only going to be in Pisces for a little while longer. It's been there since 2011. Neptune spends 14 years in a sign, so it's been there for a long time. And on the 8th, Mercury conjoins. Now, Mercury is our mind, and the mind likes to delineate things. It likes to name things. It likes to find the differences and the contrasts, right? But Neptune is the opposite of that energy. And so Neptune tends to fuzz things out. What a conjunction between Mercury and Neptune can help us with is our imagination. Our imagination. It's the start of the synodic cycle. And so it's an opportunity for us to really sort of go into that idealistic, sort of spiritual, beyond the veil kind of energy, connecting to cosmic consciousness and the great cosmic sea, and drawing out from that inspiration. So this is a really exciting opportunity for us. And for you, Aries, it's in your 12th house. So this is really like the energy of being able to connect with the other side. So this is a good time to meditate. It's a good time to pray. If you have loved ones who have passed from this world into the next, whatever next world that might be. This is a time when you can um, call on them and you know and well, you can always call on them, but you might hear them a little bit more clearly. Ethel to Tilly, Ethel to Tilly. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. March March 9th, we have Mars make the last quarter square to Uranus. Now, Venus was, you know, the last quarter square shock and awe in relationships can be very troubling. Mars can be a little bit dangerous. So we do have to be careful around the 9th because Mars is making that last quarter square to Uranus, crisis in consciousness, crisis in thought, etc. On the same day, so if you're out and about, people have a hair trigger, and there can be some explosive things happening on that day. On that same day, we have the Sun making a waning sextile to Uranus. So just as uh, Mercury did, you know, sort of connecting with that, was it Mercury? Yeah, the Mercury, our mind connecting with Uranus. Now it's the Sun, it's our identity. We could have a bit of an identity crisis at this point, but sextiles are helpful and opportunistic. And so we can, in a way, there's a little bit more control with a sextile because it's not sort of, squares sort of hit us like sideswipe us, like we're going along and the square comes, it goes bang like this. But the sextile is like, hey, hey, hey. And you're like, is somebody trying to talk to me? You're like, hey. You're like, what? And they'll say, here's an idea. And you're like, wow, that's a great idea, right? Or that's a great thing. Or or maybe I am like that, you know, identity crisis stuff. So we'll have a nice conversation with Uranus with this kind of energy, and it'll come in handy because Mars just squared Uranus. So if we don't know what to do, let's just connect with our higher selves, our higher minds, our connection to our previous incarnations. We can do that through Uranus. And Mercury, the planet of the mind, moves into your sign, Aries. And so this is Mercury going over world point, along with Mars squaring Uranus and the Sun sextiling Uranus. Chances are something big's going to happen this day. But for you, it's about your mind is front and center. Your mind is front and center with Mercury in Aries. The second week, we get a little bit of a respite. I think we're going to need it from the first week, quite honestly. But we have on the 10th, we have a new moon in Pisces. Now, this is your 12th house, your connection to spirit, to source. Did you notice how many things are in your 12th house here? That's because March is a heavy Pisces energy. And of course, eventually goes into Aries. So you get your druthers about you, Aries. But there is a lot of energy in that 12th house. And normally you'll see the Sun and Mercury and Venus sort of move you know, a similar speed, get in there at about the same time. Maybe one's a little later than the other, but everybody's running pretty quick, although Mercury is the first one in and the first one out of that 12th house. But we also have Mars, which is only with the Sun and the inner planets every 2 years. So that brings a lot of energy into the newness of whatever sign we're in. So all the new moons have this like martial, it's time to initiate, it's time to take a change, it's time to, right? And in Pisces, it's time to forgive. In Pisces, it's time to be compassionate, okay? And we're going to see that with this new moon. Besides that, though, Neptune is there, but it's been there for a long time, 2011. But last year, Saturn moved into Pisces, and that's really like a powerful thing because as Saturn moves through that 12th house, it's going to clean out all the karmic closets. And that includes you, Aries, but all of us, like all of the things that we thought we could just shove into a closet and just ignore are all going to come out to be taken care of. It's part of the manifestation process. And for you, Aries, it is about on a certain level coming to terms with the things that undo you, knowing what they are and dealing with it. You know, if you're somebody who procrastinates, this might be the period of time when you go, you know what, procrastination has gotten me here. I want to be somewhere else. And so then you apply yourself to do it differently. But until you're conscious of the problems, sometimes you don't know enough to change it. We have an opportunity now to change things, all of us, but especially you, Aries. On the 11th, Venus ingresses into Pisces. Venus has been in your 11th house, your Aquarius house. So there's been a lot of love with your friends and people who think like you. And now we have Venus moving into that 12th house. Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus loves moving through the 12th house. It's very relaxing for Venus. She can dream the big dreams. She can utilize her magical imagination. She can create beauty, great music, great poems, great singing, just great creativity with Venus moving through that house. And why not, right? Why not? We need that Venus energy. Plus, there's an increase in compassion worldwide, and there's so many folks out there that next to food and water and shelter, um, compassion and love. Well, compassion and love will lead to food, water, and shelter. So we need to find the love and the compassion and invest in people instead of blaming them for, I don't know, being who they are, being the religion they are, being the color that they are, being the orientation that they are, being in the state of financial hardship that they are. There's a lot of judges, a lot of juries, and a lot of executioners out there. And what we really need is we need love and we need compassion and we need to put out our hand to help others. And I honestly think that's already happening. We're just not getting the press on it, guys. We're just not getting the press. On the 17th, the Sun makes a conjunction. This is week 3. The Sun makes a conjunction to Neptune. Of course, this is happening in your 12th house, like almost everything this month. The Sun illuminates and Neptune obfuscates. But just like when Mercury conjoined Neptune, this is a great opportunity to imagine, to visualize, to have a vision of your future or a vision of your present, even more so than a vision of your future. I say have a vision of your present. Be be aware of where you are and what you're doing and what you have. And you may not have a lot, but there's always something to be grateful for. And this is a great opportunity. It's a great way to spend the 17th, besides maybe drinking a little green beer. Because of the Sun is conjunct Neptune, things can get a little foggy. Actually, weather can get very foggy. There can be other kinds of weather that obscure your ability to see clearly. And so you got to be extra careful on the roads. And if you do imbibe on St. Patrick's Day, make sure you have, your Uber, whatever. I don't take Uber, so I don't know what you do with Uber. I mean, you call them, I guess, right? Or have somebody who's the designated driver. On the 19th, the Sun ingresses into Aries. Aries is born again. Yeah, so this is big for Aries and all of us. We're starting a new zodiacal year. And this is when things really get moving, right? With the Sun in Aries. And of course, you feel reinvigorated when the Sun comes into your sign. And the Sun is actually exalted in Aries. Just like Venus is exalted in Pisces, the Sun is exalted in Aries. It's the rulership of Leo, but it's in its way even more powerful in Aries. So use your power well, guys. On the 21st, the Sun makes a waning sextile to Pluto. Now, Pluto in February moved back into Aquarius. So now that the Sun has moved into your sign, it makes a lovely sextile. Now, this sextile, let's see, this sextile, the Sun makes a sextile to Pluto. This is a waxing sextile between the Sun and Pluto. The sextile between Mercury and Pluto was also waxing. I think I might have not said that, but these are waxing. This means this opens the lines of communication. This opens the doorway, opens the opportunity for conversation, for getting the information that we need from our soul, from the soul, from the soul. What does the soul, what, and the soul indicates how we evolve. And evolution is about moving into more of a harmony, of a oneness, of a sense of balance. We just happen to be in a very dramatic time on the planet when the old systems are breaking down, the new systems have yet to be developed. So there's a lot of guilt and fear and it's like this is the life. And if you, to a certain extent, if you want to have any kind of peace of mind, you have to find your center and work on what you can work on, right? The interesting thing is March is actually an 11, March 2024 is an 11 vibration. So it is the justice vibration. So justice will come and be served in March. Um, but it's also about balance, and it's about sort of trying to maintain your balance through very difficultly and often unbalanced times. We also have Venus conjunct Saturn on the day that the sun sextiles Pluto on the 21st. So this starts the synodic cycle between Venus and Saturn. Venus is a planet associated with fun. Right? It's social, it can be lighthearted, it can be sexy, it can be deep. It depends on what you love, right? Venus is about love. It's not just about love between people, but it's what you love, right? Makes a conjunction to Saturn, which can be a bit of a bummer, a little bit of a buzzkill maybe, or a wet blanket, especially in Pisces. But Saturn just says to us, if you really love it, make it real. Make it real. And it's in Pisces. And so Pisces has that imaginative place, right? Eventually, Saturn is going to move into Aries. That's really when, in a way, when the action happens. Right now, we're still in the sort of in the soup of figuring out what it is that we want to see as we move into this new age, Aquarian age, and then as we move with Saturn in your sign, and also Neptune is going to be moving into your sign at the same time. And the first conjunction, and I think the only conjunction between Saturn and Neptune, which happens every 36 years, so it doesn't happen very often, is in the first degree of Aries. And so we will be creating our own reality. And so, so you got to kind of know what it is you want to create. And as we sort of go through the end of this age, and we're saying, oh my God, that's awful. I don't want that. Oh my God, that's not what I want. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. You kind of get to see what you don't want, and you start focusing on what it is that you do want, and who you want to be. Most people want to be happy, but what makes you happy? That's a question. Not everybody looks at that. A lot of times people think outside things can make them happy. But as somebody who, what's your deepest desire? What's your deepest desire? For me, it's always been to kind of serve and help people and aid and comfort and make people not feel that they're alone, and an ability to recognize who they truly are, who they truly are. So whatever it is that is your passion, this is what you need to do. If your passion is art, you need to do art. If your passion is healing, you need to do healing. If your passion is cleaning houses, give me a call. But whatever it is, whatever gives you that space, that place of like, I'm in the zone. That's what you should be doing, right? And we just have to figure out how to do it and make a living, right? Okay. On the 22nd, Mars ingresses into Pisces. Now, you were in the glory, right? You had the sun there. Oh, this is great. Your ruling planet was in Aquarius, the humanity, and now your Mars goes into the drink, right? It goes into Pisces. Mars, you don't really like Mars in Pisces for the most part, but it's there and you utilize it and you'll use it. Mars in Pisces is a very powerful healer. And if you happen to have a Mars in Pisces, and it's possible you could easily have a Mars in any sign, really, because Mars can be anywhere around. Um, but that Mars in Pisces is seen in the spiritual warrior. And when they realize what their purpose is, what their spiritual purpose is, that you can't stop them. That's when they really get on I guess, the back of the whale, and what is that whale rider? Wasn't that a movie from the 80s or the 90s? Yeah, I think it was the 90s. Um, so Mars in Pisces, it's go with the flow. That's what I want to say. Just go with the flow, because that's the only thing you can do with Mars and Pisces anyway. But if you get into a good flow, and if you start imagining these beautiful, imagine well, because what you imagine can become your reality. So I say, focus on what you want to see, not on what you're afraid of, and not what you don't want to see. Because if you keep focusing on what you're afraid of, you create it. Week 4, Venus makes a waning sextile to Jupiter. This lovely. Venus and Jupiter are both benefics, and this is the same kind of sextile that increases our humanitarianism and our compassion for others. And of course, Venus is love and comfort and aid, and Jupiter is expansion and aid and help and luck, and hopefully, we can actually get to help some people with this. On the 25th, we have the full moon in Libra. It's at 6 degrees of Libra. That full moon is happening in your house of relationship with the sun in your first house. And so you'll become aware of something in relationship. Now, the nodes of the moon is in your sign. The north node is in your sign. And so this is an eclipse. This is the start of the eclipse season again. You might be, wasn't there eclipse last week? No, that was 6 months ago. We're back again on the eclipses. And this one is a full moon eclipse. These are north node eclipses. So we're being asked to move in a new direction, in the direction of our evolution. We're being asked to move in the direction of Aries. So it's about standing up for yourself. It's about standing up for what's important. It's about being yourself, like being your authentic self, not who other people want you to be or think you should be, but who are you authentically? That has the most power. That has the most power. Excuse me. Did I say Venus sextile Jupiter? I did. And then I said the full moon. I might have made a little mistake there, but the things I said about Venus sextile Jupiter are true. But now we have Venus making a sextile to Uranus. Uranus and Jupiter are both in Taurus. So if a planet makes an aspect to Jupiter, it's going to make an aspect to Uranus. And that's really kind of good, because Jupiter informs us in a way, expands our consciousness as far as it can go. And then Uranus comes and blows the lid off of it. And with Uranus, we can expand, like really expand out into sort of a new world, a new experience, right? And so it's not the easiest thing for somebody's nervous system to go through that, but certainly this is the time. And Venus making the sextile to Uranus opens us up to all those humanitarian things that we had with Jupiter. But there's a little out of the box energy here, a little technology, a little unexpected help, perhaps. And that unexpected help, perfectly honest with you, could come from extraterrestrials. And I know a lot of you are already connected to extraterrestrials, either through experiences with them or a sense of kinship, or maybe you channel them, or there's some sort of connection that you have. Maybe it's you're a star seed, and that's the those aliens are where you originally came from. So, there's all this resonance happening now. And we're really sort of getting blown into a whole new world. And so we don't have that much control about we don't have control in a way how fast we go, but we do have some sort of control with the direction that we want to go in. It's almost like the universe is the archer, right? And it's letting go, and we're the arrows, and we're getting like shot into the future. And if you have a goal or an aim, and it doesn't have to be like, I want to be the king of the world. It's just like, and it comes from your heart, where you really, where you love, like your heart is the most powerful place in your body. It energetically, it's like the core. It's more important than the brain. The brain is actually somewhat of like a tuning place, like on the radios back in the Wayback Machine, when you had to dial on the radio, and you'd have to get into the frequency to hear it. Well, our brains work like that, and the more we meditate and the more we connect, and the more the bigger our bandwidth, then the more information we can get in. So, but you have to be centered to do that. You have to be within your center. And the best way to be in your center is to be in your heart, because it's the center of all things. Okay, I'm finished. That's it. All right. Let's look at the I just did that. No, sorry. Let's look at the tarot. Yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna use the fountain deck because I happen to have it right here in front of me. I like this deck. Oh, all right. Here we go. So, you know what? I've been pulling an oracle card first. I will do that, but I might as well just, now that I'm shuffling, I might as well just shuffle a little bit, and then I'll pull the oracle. I'm using the Mystic Sisters Oracle, and it's by one of my favorite artists. And all right, that's good. Oh, well, maybe one more. These cards, I like these cards. They're pretty, but they're stiff. And I've had them for a long time. It's so hard to shuffle. Okay. That'll be ready when I get to it. All right. So, whoops. I'm gonna move some stuff here. Okay. The Mystic Sisters. Message for Aries. Okay, let's see. Which card speaks to me? Oh, that was fast. It spoke really quickly. Okay. 1 second. Oh, there I am. I'm gonna fix it, but I fixed it. You received her secrets. There was another sign that received this as well. Let me read it from the book, what her secrets means, and I'll hold the card up because it's pretty. Okay. A, B, C, D. Okay, here we go. Is that bad? Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna read it. Okay. All right, let's see here. Here's the card. You have 4 sisters here. Secrets and listening. The 4 sisters are sharing a moment of secret privileged information. They lean on each other for support and are keenly interested in what the others have to share. When this card is drawn, it signifies a need to confide in a friend. The value of having a friend to share your secrets with is immeasurable. The release of stress that comes from the release of stress that comes with knowing you do not have to carry the burden of your thoughts by yourself is such a gift. Not all your thoughts are true, but holding them inside and allowing an inner dialogue to run on a loop can be devastating to your well-being. Be grateful for those around you whom you can trust. Share your personal internal conflicts with them and patiently listen to theirs. The simple act of speaking your mind has a purifying effect on the spirit. Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. That's what friends are for. In good times, in bad times, I'll be by your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. So we start with justice. Remember I said March was an 11 month? Here you go. March is an 11 month. So justice is coming, balance is coming, or balance is here. Oh, and of course, when the sun moves into Aries, the light and the dark are equal. Okay, so there you go. What's the challenge to that? The Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is illusion and delusion. Who are you deluding yourself? Are you deluding yourself? Are you seeing what you want to see instead of what's actually there? Underneath it all, the Two of Wands. A great card. I love this card. It's one of my faves. This is about cooperating with another person to get things done. It's about standing on your accomplishments and looking forward to how you can bring that out into the world. How can you share your light with the world? Ye are the light of the world, right? How do we do that? How do we share that? We share that through love. Past, we have the King of Wands. This is an Aries card. It's a very active king. You're a very active king, Aries. But you do have dominion over spirit. You're able to like work with spirit. But spirit is fire, and when you work with fire, it can get a little dangerous. So you've burned yourself a few times for sure. In the sky, Temperance. So this is another balance card. Look at these cards. This is like healing. You need to be very conscious of the steps that you take and don't get caught up in extremes. This is really about focusing. This is the path of the mystic, guys. This is the path of the mystic. So the mystic connects the higher and the lower self. That's the thing of the mystic is to rise up, to bring your like physical self in a way, your denser self up into the light to sort of de-densify, and it's part of the journey. So this is an incredibly interesting reading so far. Holy Toledo. See what's in the immediate future. Oh, I love this. Balance. You're going to start to see your good deeds rewarded. You're going to start to see the people who need the help get the help. Oh. So I'm getting a little bit of a message here. So Spirit is just wants us to know that they've been paying attention. We've paid attention, and you will be rewarded by your deeds. Your deeds will, the other side of the coin comes up, and it looks really good. How it's seen from the outside, getting your wishes. You're going to get your wishes this month. Wow. And that's also, it's not just the wishes for the month. You're only going to get your wishes in March. No, this is like your wishes, what you really are sort of aspiring to. This is beautiful. In the home, we have the Queen of Wands. So in the past, we had the King. In the home, we have the Queen. So maybe the Queen's in charge now. This is a Leo card. And it's a Leo, and the 8 is a Leo year. So it's almost as if these cards are lining up to all the energetic themes for the year. Interesting. Hopes and fears. Can you do it? Can you make it up? Can you make it to the top of the pyramid? Are you strong enough? Can you hold your place? Um, it depends on whether that's what you need to do, you know? So not everybody has to hold their space or hold their place, or you hang on. So, oh, hello. Is that a, oh, it is a little, did everybody see that? Huh. All right. Um, oh, Aries. You guys. Now, I was going to say, I wish this was my reading, but it's okay because it is. Because Aries, as the first sign of the zodiac, this is the reading that if anybody else watched, this would apply to them, no matter what your ascendant is or your moon or whatever. The Emperor. The Emperor. This is about dominion. This is about building a foundation, bringing in the light. You're building a foundation to bring in the light. Underneath it all, we have the King of Swords, the Nine of Swords, a Sphere, and the Queen of Coins. I feel like somebody's going to be held accountable. I don't feel this is you, Aries, particularly. I think this is somebody in power, somebody who has been cruel and terrorized. The feminine will rise here, and the feminine is brown here. She's a brown woman, and she is earthy and powerful. And so the King of Swords is generally like in the best possible way. It's just like, sorry, the black and white, the judge, right? It's against the law or it's for the law, right? And I feel like somebody's going to be held responsible for some actions they took. So we'll see who that is. All right. That's the story on that. Aries. It's going to be an interesting month, right? Oy, oy, oy. Another interesting month. And this is like the quiet time of the year. March actually is more quiet, I think, than other months, but what does that mean? What does that mean anymore? Oh, shadoodles. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hey, have yourself a great month. It's going to be amazing. It's going to just be amazing. And take care of yourself. Be careful, especially around when Neptune does its things. St. Patrick's Day. Um, it's nice to celebrate with your friends, right? It's nice to have a beer and laugh and remember, that there's things to laugh about. Laughter is great. It's a great is great medicine. It really is. My mom used to say, "Hey, look, you're going to either be laughing or crying, so you might as well laugh." And I think that's good advice for somebody who could cry every day for everything, cancer that I am. Um, Laughing really helps. That's why a lot of really good comedians are cancers. Like some of the best, like Robin Williams, some of the best. And you also had a lot of Leo, and that helps too. That Cancer Leo spot in the zodiac is really really it's in a way the ridiculousness of sometimes of life. Like, I don't know, Vladimir Putin killing his main rival by getting him poisoning him, and the ex-president who's trying to be the president is hawking gold sneakers. So, I and I'm sure by the time this comes out, be a whole much more stuff, crazy, strange things that happen. But we're living in interesting times, and I'm glad to be living with you through these interesting times. So, if you'd like a reading with me, I do astrology, numerology, Kabbalah readings. It's a combination of all three. It's very unique. Um, and can be life-changing. You can get I offer hour and hour and a half readings. If it's your first one, I like the hour and a half because we do go over a lot of information, a lot of things I see. Some things get channeled, some things are just from my knowledge base, as it were. And everything's recorded, so I send you the link, you download it from Zoom, and you have it forever, and you could listen to it as many times as you want. And so it's something you can go back to if you need to. Or I have an hour reading as well. The price difference isn't that much between the hour and the hour and a half. So, um, if you can afford to do the hour and a half, this is your first time. But whatever you can is good, because you'll get to hear what you need to hear, right? Isn't that the way that works? And I'll get the information that I get through my channels, I guess. My where I have my little I don't know, plugs in into the matrix, right? Astrology, Kabbalah, numerology, all that stuff. Um, so the link's below for that. You can give me a like or a thumbs up, that helps too. And I have a Patreon page. I'd love to get more patrons. If I can get more patrons on Patreon, I can do more stuff. I can do more stuff for my patrons. I can, because there are things I can't always talk about, like in the public domain, because you could, because of the advertisers and stuff. So it would be nice to, to do the Patreon thing, and I could get more stuff out too, because I have a lot of information I want to share, but I kind of have to make it, so I can, commodify my light, right? All right. I will see you next month. Take it easy, okay? Be careful and be aware and take care. And spring is almost here. And I know how you Aries are about spring because I'm married to one. It's his favorite time of year. All right, take care, everyone. Namaste.